calls the fire down and it comes. Understand this, they were in a drought at this time. A drought was in the land. Not much water. They hadn't seen rain. But notice what he's saying. Elijah, before he ever sees rain, before he ever hears it, before he even feels it, he says to Ahab, he says, go, get up, go eat and drink. There is a sound of abundance of rain. Next verse. So Ahab went up to eat. Of course he's hungry. But can you understand this? Ahab just lost 450 of his men. He's like, all right, I'm going to go grab a hamburger. What? He goes up to go eat and drink. Okay, let's go on. And Elijah went up to the top of Carmel, and he cast himself down upon the earth and put his face between his knees. Here he is, Martin, the prophet of God. He just called fire down. Fire from heaven came down. And here he is. He's the prophet of God. Somebody say, he is the man.
He is the man.
He just killed 450 dudes that were, serving idols. 450 dudes that didn't believe in God. He just handled business. They're dead. He calls fire down and fire comes. And here he is, going down, casting his face between his knees. To some that don't know much about it, it will look like he's defeated. It will look like, what happened? What's going on, Elijah? The next verse says this. He says to his servant, go up now, look toward the sea. And he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. And he said, go again. You got to understand this, the servant. This is how you and I'm sure would think. Can you imagine? The servant just, was there when Elijah told him, hey, Ahab, get up and drink. I hear rain. I hear the sound of an abundance of rain. But then he's telling the servant, go look, see if you see anything. What? You just told him that you heard the rain coming, and now you want me to go look to see if there's something? You mean to tell me there's nothing there? He goes and he looks, and there's nothing. And he said, go again 7 times. This happened 7 times. This happened 7 times. Can I tell you something that you don't need to be very smart to understand this. The servant was submitted to Elijah.
Amen. That's good.
Do you understand that this did not make any sense? The servant was submitted to Elijah. And I've got to stop and tell this generation, it is important for you to be submitted to the men of God in your life.
Amen.
I'm going to say it again. It is important for you to be submitted to the men of God in your life. There are people like myself looking out for your soul. There are people that care to see you live for God. I want to see you make it. I don't want to just see you sing a song and dance a little bit. I want you to go to heaven too. I want to make sure you're doing everything that you can to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. I want to make sure that everything that comes your way, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. I want to make sure all of that must answer to your relationship with God. Amen. Do you hear me tonight? Too many, listen, because I'm in your generation. I'm 23 years old. I know how we think and how we operate. We don't like to be told what to do. Right. Can I get a witness?
Yeah. Witness.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there people here that like to be told, go throw the trash? Do you like that? No. Do you like hearing this? Go clean your room. It's a mess.
No.
Do you like saying, hey, when you're done, make sure you come back and I'll have something else for you to do?
No.
No. You don't. You don't, and honestly, you don't like people to tell you like it is and tell you what's wrong and what's right and what needs to be done. Am I wrong? I don't think I am. I believe I'm speaking to a generation that you like liberty.
Amen.
You like freedom. Amen. You like to make your own decisions. You like to do things without being told. You like to clean.
No.
The way we live, we don't like authority. Let me have your attention. We're not here to babysit anybody. Hear that? Make sure that's clear. I say that again. We're not here to babysit. Want to make sure that's understood. Tonight, I'm speaking to people that you walked in, and like myself, you don't like having somebody tell you what to do all the time. You don't like having to say, all right, that's fine, I'll do it. Especially when you don't want to do it. No, I don't want to do it. In your head, you know how they tell you to do something and you're like, well, hey, can you do this here? In your head, you're like, what? Are you serious? Come on, I don't want to do this. This is ridiculous. It's taking my time. I could be doing something else. But yet you smile and say, yeah, absolutely. Let me get that for you. say that in your head. You're like, what? Are you serious? Can you imagine, just kind of slip? I can just see you like, man, why do I got to do this all the time? But yeah, we just kind of put a smile. Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else I can do? Yeah, right. Not really. But understand, as we move on in the story, that his servant was completely submitted to him. It didn't make any sense. Can you imagine Martin going? And I don't think it was just kind of like a little ways. Notice that he went to the top of the mountain. He went to the top of the mountain. He said, all right, this is what I want you to do. Go, look toward the sea. And he went up, so he has to go somewhere. It's not going to be that easy. And he looked and said, there is nothing. He went the first time. He didn't see anything. And he probably came back and said, well, Elijah, you just called fire down. I know you think you're the man. I got bad news for you. There is nothing. So he's probably like, he probably thought like you and I did. Well, I just did what he told me to do. Now I'm going to sit and chill. Maybe get me a cheeseburger. And so he comes back and says, there's nothing. I can see the servant getting ready to sit down. And then Elijah doesn't even look up. He just says, go again. Can you imagine the face that he was making? You know the faces that you make when you close the door? You know when you close the door? And then you sock the air? Uppercut the air? No, I can see the servant, he's making all these faces. Elijah's head's down. Go again. But yeah, he starts walking. So he goes the second time and he comes back. He's like, you ain't got it, Elijah. I don't know what you were hearing. Comes back, kind of breathing a little harder this time. He's tired. He was there for the whole thing, seeing the fire fall and stuff. He's hot. His hair's itching. His gel was old. Don't you hate that when your gel is almost out from the heat of the day? Anybody else? His deodorant was wearing out. It wasn't Degree or Right Guard. He was like, man, I just want something to eat. Comes back and says, there's nothing. Goes to sit down. Go again. He makes that face like, yeah. Go again. So there he goes again. The third time. Comes back. Goes again. Go again. You got to be kidding me. He's getting cramps in his legs. He's doing that funny walk. And he's just walking. Fifth time. Elijah, there's nothing, man. Elijah's just laying there. He don't know what he's doing. To the servant, he's like, here you are chilling. In his head voice says, you're chilling. You're not doing anything. And I'm going back and forth. Go again. So he's making all kinds of faces. And I can see him, man. He's like, if I was a man of God, I'd be eating a cheeseburger right now. When I'm the prophet, I'm not going to make my servant do anything. I'm just ask for a water bottle or something. And he comes back. Elijah, probably a little louder. It's kind of irritating. Hello. The sixth time, there's nothing.
Go again.
That prophet-like voice. And he said, go away. And so the servant being submitted, and he was probably skinny. He probably looked like me by then, or more like Martin. A little bit of a difference. Kind of looked like Martin by then. His legs. He goes, this is the seventh time. Somebody say, I wouldn't have done it. You probably wouldn't.
I don't know about that.
7 times. He went 6 times and there was nothing. And the 7th time he goes and he looks. And the Bible says he went up. So he went a little distance. He went up. He probably thought he was seeing something. You know how it is when you get mad. Can't think straight, can't see straight. You just probably frustrated and tired. He goes up. I said, what? And he puts that exaggerated look. You ever see somebody like in the street like it's really going to help them? You know what I mean? The sun's not even out. They just do it because they seen somebody else do it. They don't see anything. He looks a little bit closer. Oh my God. Elijah, you weren't dumb after all. I'm just talking like I know he probably was talking. He's probably young. He's probably our age. I see something. But it's little. So he goes back and he tells Elijah, he said, you can put it up, you don't believe me. And it came to pass at the 7th time, he said, behold. I don't know if you and I would say that. Behold. there ariseth a little cloud out of the sea, like a man's hand. And he said, go up to Ahab. He just came back. He just came back. I'm just trying to get you into the sermon, because that's what we're going to be right now. He said, go up, saying, Ahab, prepare your chariot, get thee down the rain, that the rain stop thee not. And the next verse simply says, and it came to pass in the meanwhile, just while he told him that, in the meanwhile, that the heaven was black with clouds and wind. There was a great rain, and Ahab rode and went to Jezreel. Go back just a couple of verses. He went, and finally, somebody say the seventh time, he saw a little cloud. He saw a cloud the size of a man's hand. Elijah heard rain before he ever went to look. Elijah knew, because he was confident in what God had told him. Before he ever put his face between his knees, before he ever went to pray, God had told him that I will send rain. I called the fire down, God. And you said, if you were going to prove your point, that the rain would come. And so even though, listen, even though I don't see it, even though I don't feel it, even though I don't know it for myself yet, I'm just confident in what you said. I am just confident in what you told me. Before the situation was ever at hand, before the circumstance ever came up, you said that it would be, so I'm just going to trust you that it will be. How does that apply to your life? How does that make sense to you? Some of you need to understand and believe that if God has put himself inside of you, if God has invested his love and his grace and his mercy for your life, I've got to tell you, you know why? Because he meant what he said. And if he said that he cared for you, then he's going to care for you.